So here we are again, talking about more about the Gintama manga, like especially that it's been like over like a month and a bit since I last talked about the last chapter. I think the last one I talked about was like 662 or 663. It was one of those chapters into the final fight, and a lot of things have happened since then, and like honestly when I've been like consistently reading this stuff and all that, there has actually been a moment in this series where I was actually worried for a bit, where I was like, oh no, is the fight going down this way? Like, what's going to be happening with this? Is like these characters going to get shunned out because of this? Like, there was a moment, like, I'd like to say 2, maybe 1 chapter ago, where this could have ended just then, and everyone thought it was going to end on this chapter, like 666, obviously, you know, like, being the number, like, the devil and everything, so all of us were like, please, please no, like, let's not just be, like, out, like, be done by, like, some magical, like, little, oh, we knew this all along, and we can seal him off like this, and it's like, oh, please don't do this. It just sounds really, like, it felt like something that Gintoki needed to do by his own hands, and thank God are they just doing it this way. And not to lie, I just feel bad for Gintoki at this point. He's suffered enough. He's had enough, like, pain and suffering. Like, he doesn't want to do any more of this and all that. Like, I just feel bad for him. And especially with Utsuro in this chapter, like, geez, like, fear. That's all that can be described of what he's feeling right now after everything that's going down. So to kind of catch people up, like what's going on is that pretty much like the whole like kind of like what we did with the Omniojis, they have decided to use Sadaharu as soon as he went into the Dragon Vein. Not to mention with like all of the life force around like the entire planet, they are pretty much like, you know, like going to use that against Utsuro, because normally humans lack the ability to calm the Dragon Veins like, you know, anyone else, but the Omijis can pretty much like convert this power into like calming it down, which, you know, we see like everybody, and I mean everyone out there, you know, you're seeing like Otaya, you're seeing like the old lady, you're seeing every single character trying to get in there all on this side, like on there, as they're trying to convert this to stop these veins so it stops Utsuro from growing back anymore. Like, it's like, no, we need to seal him down for like one last time, and people are giving up their own like just life energy just doing this, and it's like Utsuro's like actually panicking. He's like, he's getting all his soldiers around, he's like, stop that. And I love the fact that it was fucking Yagyu, Jirocho, and it was like Tsukio, like, and all the ninja Saratobi, like all of them, they all went in and saying, we are buying you guys time, we are taking these guys out. They knew what was going on straight away, pulled out their swords, went straight in, and it's like, no, we don't know what's happening right now, and we're just gonna buy time. And I love that part. It's like all of them knew immediately. It's like, we've got a bit of time coming in here, let's use it as the last sort of ditch effort on there. And even Nobume, like, it's like they were trying to stop like Sadaharu like being in there, like he's trying to like hold on for dear life like that. Nobume's like, she's battered, she's bloodied, like, and she can barely hang on, and she's trying to go against Utsuro. And that's the thing, it's like, the sad thing is like, we still haven't had too much, like, I kind of wish we, if anything with this arc, we had a little bit more, kind of like, dynamic between her and Utsuro, because at the end of the day, she's one of Shoyo's, like, pupils at the end of the day, and it's like, I wanted a little bit more, like, with those two, and it's nice that we're at least getting some sort of thing with them, especially when, like, he's just looking at this, and he's like, how long do you humans intend to oppose me like that? I know you humans better than yourselves and all that. They're foolish, they're cowardly, they're brutal creatures and all that. They make the same mistakes over and over, not learning from them, and bring about unending sadness. You know, you humans feared me, and they tried to kill me again and again and again. And guess what? The ones that I killed again and again was you, and I will end these creatures here. I am tired of this cycle. I am tired of this immortality. He's like pointing us like sword towards it. It's like, and one thing, he's like, he starts shaking. He's like, what is this? And he is feeling fear right now. He is actually sweating because he's like, I can't stop actual human determination. I can't stop what these people are doing, and like, and everyone's agreeing. It's like, Nobumi's like, we are cowardly, we are brutal creatures, but you forgot something. We fight with our own weaknesses. We know exactly what we are. As you see one last time, Gintoki, Kagura, and Shinpachi standing up for one more time, going in there and trying to fight, and it's like, he's like, you vile creatures, he starts screaming down, trying to attack them like that. And it was nice because one thing is that he finally was talking about his other personality. He was finally talking about Shoyo, where he was like, how is it that someone like me that like hates humanity, loathes it, wants to kill it, wants to destroy everything it stands for, how did I have that other personality, the one that, like, the human loving, how was that born? How is it that humans were beaten by me, lost everything, should have rotted away? As, like, they had to keep turning them out to that one panel of Gintoki cry, which always destroys me, because he has suffered enough, he doesn't need any more of this shit, and he's like, yeah, how are they the ones standing against me? It's like, and you just, like, the final panel, you just see Gintoki, he is there, bloodied, weak, giant scar over his face, like he has just gone through hell and fucking back, and he is still trying to pull in. And I'm glad that it wasn't like, okay everyone, give us your energy. Like, I really didn't want like kind of like a just straight up Dragon Ball moment where it's like, come on guys, let's just do our own recreation of the Spirit Bomb. I'm glad it wasn't like that, because people thought that that was going to be the final part, but it's like, no, Gintoki needs to settle this by his own hands on there. I like that Kagura and Shinpachi are still like helping, but I feel like no, let everyone hang back now. Gintoki needs to slay him at this point. He needs to put this man to. I'm not gonna lie, if he like shows that face and if he starts smiling and he sees like Shoyo comes back for a little, my heart is gonna be destroyed. I can't take Gintoki taking any more pain, man. It's too much for him. This like overall like catching up again, like with all the like the manga chats and scrambling on there. There was that Aussie with the last two and all that. There was that worrying thing. There's like, oh, we're gonna have that bit. Is it like, well, we're gonna have Madara Uchiha? He's too powerful that we have to do this to him. Like we have to kind of seal him away in some way. And it's like, like I feel like, especially like, I'm glad that's the case. Where it's like, the final fight needs to be dealt by Gintoki himself. It needs to be his result. It doesn't need to be because of some MacGuffin. It doesn't need to be because of some of this, like that. I mean, like, we've clearly dealt with the immortality part now. We've done with that, and now this is just a pure orange brawl that we've got right here. So overall, I'm glad about that. And it's like, he needs to slay this demon. He needs to slay this part, like this huge part of his past. And overall, like, yeah, like, every time I've talked about Gintama, it's like, man, it could have, like, 2 chapters left, 4, like, 3, and Gintama just keeps going on and on. Like, with that, the final arc has been definitely hefty with its own amount of stuff, and it's weird now we're talking about this, and we've got the final season of the anime out already, so, you know, whatever they need to do, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be as long as Sorachi wants to, like, lay this out, because he has a lot of things that he wants to, like, kind of, like, address with the last part of Gintama, but I'm just so glad it could have ended that way, and it would have been, like, that bit where it's like, yeah, Gintama's all fucking great and everything, I love the final arc, but it's like, oh, that last bit with you, and I hate saying that with every single thing I love. It's like, yeah, I really enjoy this series, but, oh, God, that final arc, though, or, like, ooh, that final fight, though, ooh, like, I don't know what it is, but it's just, like, it's just because a lot of people just don't plan their endings, it just doesn't go that way, and I don't think we've ever really heard, like, Sorachi, like, ever talk about the ending of, like, the Gintama, because, like, at the end of the day, it's like, who cares, we just care for him, like, doing comedy and shit, so, like, it was interesting is that, I don't know how much of it is he actually got planned, or how much of this arc did he, like, plan out, on, like, all the stuff that he wanted to do with Utsuro, and everything throughout that, and the same thing, I think he, like, if anything, he planned out Takasugi, like, immediately, like, that was probably somewhere that he wanted to go, and then Ozzy later down the line, so it's definitely like a very interesting thing, and I'd love to like see some interviews when he's like talking about this like after the series is done, and like how much of it was actually he planned out, and how much of the final arc did he like think out beforehand, because we've seen like other authors like panic like week to week, like, oh, I don't know what to do. So overall, I really enjoyed this chapter, and definitely some of the ones I catched up with, and I'm just glad it's not going down that way. And guys, what do you think of Utsuro? Like, Jesus Christ, this man just won't fucking die. He just will not just die, and just Gintoki suffered enough, alright? He's had enough pain, he's had enough suffering, just let the boy rest now. Like, he's being a good boy. Let him have his, like, time to rest, like, after all. That's all me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.